Oh, she's a good looking ride. I know. I was driving around in that truck today, and it's funny. A lot of people, I get thumbs up in that truck all the time because of what it is. And a lot of people know that as the Tin Man's truck, so sometimes it's funny. And one of you guys was like, "Hey, Tin Man," in traffic today. Anyhow, guys, I just thought I'd check in. Not a lot to report on, but I will report on this, friends. Sorry, my screen is a little fuzzy today. We are in a orange tornado alert. I don't know, they attach colors to things now. I don't really know what it means. Orange, red means dead generally, so yellow's probably better than orange. But yeah, friends, we're in a tornado watch. There's been twisters spotted not far from here, heavy rain, and big hail. So I live in Tornado Alley in the summer, and so the lights have been flickering. I've been staying in the house with the dog. My wife is hanging out in the city waiting for this to pass, and it will pass, friends. But anyhow, just wanted to check in with you guys. Bucket stock is coming, and lots to do, friends. These trips, especially when I drive, when I fly, it's pretty easy. You show up at the airport with whatever you can carry on you. You hop on a plane, you fly there, you land, you grab your rental car, you drive to the destination, and you're done. But when I come to bucket stock, friends, I like to bring things, saws and parts and whatever else. So I've been getting ready. Update on the McCullough. I threw that thing kind of half together, and I'll probably, if I have time, do a small video on this. I threw that saw together and it would fire, but it won't start. Okay, it's just popping. Well, I'm just gonna lean over here on the truck. Well, what's going on here, friends, is the McCullough, I think, had varnish in the tank. The tank looked clean, but when I put fuel in it, now it stinks like rancid gas, even though I put fresh gas in there. So what's happening is the rancid gas is going into the carburetor, and when I open up the carburetor, I'm dumping rancid gas out of it. Well, there shouldn't be any. So that, and I put a brand new Tillotson HS carb on there, and it'll only pop, same as with the other carb. So I said to Buckin the other day, I said, we're probably going to have to put that thing aside because, well, it's not cooperating, and I just don't have time right now, friends. So that's kind of the update. This weekend we'll start getting saws ready. I'd like to have this truck packed and ready to go a couple days ahead of time. I got to grab my job box and my toolbox like I did last year, and we'll pack it with saws and bars. So I was yakking with a couple of you. The Dolmar man, he's going to bring some bars for us and possibly an 880, so that's cool. Maybe we'll do some racing. I'd like to race a 61 Pioneer 100cc versus an 880, just see. But anyways, friends, so doing that, and then of course you got I bar saws up and I sharpen, get all my chains ready. I ordered some more tooling for my Fordham so that we have brand new tooling. Stuff like that. I will be doing porting at Bucket Stock. Don't know what that's going to look like, but we'll probably gather into Danny Boy's shop and I'll yak like I'm doing a video, and I will do porting for you guys. Maybe I'll port a transfer and I'll hand it around to the class so you guys can see it, and then, you know, we can do the other side. Maybe Dan can port and I can yak with you guys. Dan also builds a mean saw. That's the thing, friends. I'm not the only guy that can build a saw. I've said it a million times. There's others. Let's talk about the Cummins. Okay, the big bad Cummins. She's sitting here, ready to go. Where are we at with this thing? Somebody asked me the other day, a person I know, they're like, why don't you take your Ford? You know that Ford, you can just change the oil and giddy up. I thought, yeah, but I've already done it in the Ford. Why not do it in the Cummins? But, so you guys can see, I got 12 liters of ATF4. It holds about 8 on a change. But I got a BD diesel auxiliary cooler that I'm gonna try and install on this thing. I would show it to you guys, but it's still packed away. I'll do a video on that. It has a thermostat, turns it on at 180 and off at 170. This transmission, with the tune in this truck and the big tires, it gets hot in bumper to bumper traffic. Driving around, it's fine. It cruises about 170, 172, which is perfect. But when you're sitting in traffic, it tends to get really, really hot. So that's kind of where we're at. Now, the reason why I want to take this truck, friends, is, well, the back seat. Don't judge me, friends. I do golf now with work. The tools of management. Never thought I'd golf, but and I'm horrible at it. And I would never go out golfing on a nice day, but golfing with work, why not? Okay, so here's where we're at with the Cummins, friends. I did not film this because, again, I would rather get stuff done and make it to buck and stock versus not getting this stuff done and filming it. This system was empty, friends, okay? I am in the heating and refrigeration business, so I have means to evacuate such system. I emptied this. I put a new condenser on here, okay? My old condenser, where is it? I think I threw it out already, friends. All these fins were just absolutely ratty and smashed, and kind of blocks the airflow. I noticed this truck runs a little cooler now because if you look, there's condenser, intercooler, transmission cooler, and then the rad. So there's a lot going on here, okay? And I put let's see if we can show you guys here. I put where is it? Up there, friends. I put a brand new compressor on this thing, and I charged it back up. And while I was filling it back up, I noticed that this line here was freezing up on me, okay? Well, that is a sure sign of a restriction, okay? And this should get cold, not this, okay? So this line's actually freezing up, like it'll get an 1/8 of an inch of frost on it, which means that line's restricted. So I'm not getting enough airflow, or I'm not getting enough refrigerant flow to my cab. So I have to replace the lines on this thing here, okay? These two lines. So what I decided to do, friends, is I'm going to do brand new AC lines right here. These are cheap and cheerful. Now I do have to pull the battery out. Battery and possibly the air filter. Not a big deal on this truck. And when I have the air filter off, I might as well change the oil then. But yeah, I'm gonna replace the dryer and both lines, compressor, and the condenser, and then I should have icy cold, delicious air conditioning. Now, friends, last year when we left Indiana, the day we left, it was 42 Celsius, or like 100 and I don't even know what that is, 110, 112, and sticky. And let me tell you, if we weren't in that Ford, that old Ford has icy cold air conditioning, it would have hurt, friends. So that'll be this weekend's job. That won't take long, probably a couple hours to change those components. Then I'll put my vac pump on. I've already emptied the system again. And I'll put my vac pump on, vac this thing down, leave it under vacuum for probably an hour, and then I will recharge it with fresh refrigerant, 14 ounces. If you guys are curious, it says under the hood, there's that finger I smashed, 14 ounces, okay, of 134A. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to change the oil. I attempted to change the fuel filter the other day, and I think I have the new style filter because the one I got was too small. Next, friends, I want to do that transmission cooler. It says it's about a 4-hour install, maybe 5. So we'll see how that goes. One of my pet peeves on this truck is, can you see right here? See, friends, this this lower rocker box. So you have your CCV filter cover, your valve cover, and your rocker box, okay? And if you look back here, let's see if we can do this. Okay, you see the back? See how there's no oil here, okay? See how there's no oil here on the front? Okay, this is your valve cover, this is your rocker box. Now look, you see how there's oil there? Now, this truck has ARP head studs, okay? I didn't know this, friends. It's always cool to talk to people that know about things. Notice at the back, it almost looks like just the valve cover is sweating at the back. Do you see that? See how it goes from, let's see up here and down? But anyways, friends, this thing's leaking oil pretty bad, okay? And I would like to rectify that before we go on our trip. Now, friends, I've never had to fill the oil. Oh, I just won't trip there because I'm standing on a milk crate. I know I don't have to fill the oil in. I put a liter in this thing, or a quart if you're in the States, in 9,000 kilometers, or like, what is that? 6,500, 7,000 miles. So I mean, a quart low, a liter low isn't even at the fill line yet. So not a big deal, but it does drip down the bell housing, and it drips every time I park this thing, and it bothers me. So I ordered a new valve cover gasket, which has the injector wiring in it. Oh, here she comes, friends. Yep. And a new gasket for down here. That stuff won't be in till next week. So the idea is I'm going to do the transmission. I'll do the transmission, oil and filter. Hopefully grab a fuel filter. That takes like 20 minutes to change. Okay, do the transmission cooler, all that stuff as I'm doing the transmission filter. Do the AC, and we should be good to go. I'll probably do the AC first and then change the oil. The transmission cooler is a bonus. This thing does get hot though. These trucks, if you buy one of these, friends, these trucks are notorious for burning up transmissions. And the reason why is this factory transmission cooler is not sufficient for such a big, nasty truck. Big transmission. So, ways to rectify that, you can put a Mishimoto, which is like a triple core cooler behind here. I hear that works. I don't know. It's just what I read online. Works better when you're moving. Or you can put an auxiliary cooler and leave that. So then I have two coolers, friends. Pluses and minuses. Well, auxiliary coolers underneath, it could catch a stone and leak. But the minus to the upgraded cooler here is that it's a lot more work to put in, I think, and it works better while you're moving. Yeah, the fan blows air through there, but again, to each their own. The cooler I put in has a capacity like crazy, so I'm adding coolant capacity to my transmission, like putting a deep sump in. And the nice thing is, friends, when I'm idling, if my transmission goes over 180, at 181, it'll turn on and the fan will run, which means I can be sitting in traffic and this transmission should never, ever, ever get above 180 degrees, which is 170 to 180. They say it's optimal. 180 to 210 is like, it's warm, but it's acceptable. 220 is where you start breaking down transmission fluid. Well, this thing, I've seen it hit 219, 220 a couple times. So anyways, friends, probably have to blow this out. But yeah, other than that, I mean, things should be good to go. Now guys, it's starting to rain. I'll call her quits. Just wanted to jump in. I'm not forcing the content the last couple weeks because, well, there's not much to report on. I've been struggling with that McCullough, and it's like, okay, I got to put this thing aside. And we're driving a bucket stock, so patience, friends. I think a man, as he gets older, at least me, I've learned to be more patient, and I like it that way. I'm not stressed out right now. I'm letting things come as they come, and in one ear and out the other. I'm not overthinking anything. When I work on the truck, I'll just work on it and get it ready. So anyhow, friends, stay tuned this weekend. I will be getting saws ready and working on this truck and getting it finished. I'm so happy that this thing will be done, and then I can drive it for many years to come until I find another truck I want, and then I'll be all over that and then we'll start again. We both know that. We all know that, friends. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Take her easy later, and hopefully we don't get a tornado. Later, guys.